All right, so we're here today to talk about how to get through this crisis. And I know the times are pretty difficult for everyone, whether we want to face it or not. The environment has changed. And this session today is not to talk about the health aspect of coronavirus and how it affects your body. From the standpoint of the physicality of it. We're here to help you get through this crisis so that you can continue to thrive and build a business, because many of you are running your business to affect the world. You're trying to impact positively others and fulfill your purpose. So now more than ever, it is important that you keep going and you provide the solutions that are so very much needed. So how do we get through this? I developed a process that I called the 3 key R's that will get you revitalized, reinvigorated, and thriving again. So I'm going to walk you through this process, and feel free to participate. So if you have a question, hit raise a hand or type your question into the chat. I can see it and respond to it as we go. So this is very casual. I don't want you to feel that you're just here to listen. I'm a coach and I'm a trainer, and I am a transformative coach. What that means is that my desire for you is to come out of it different than what you came, and to be transformed in that process. Okay, so let's start with why you should even listen to me, and who the heck is Dagmar Fleming? Well, first of all, as you can tell, I've got an accent, and this is not an East Texas accent, although I pretend that it is. I am originally from Poland. I came to America back in 1994, and I've been in a corporate environment until 2010 when I opened my own business. And that's because throughout my career, I've always been in charge of either the divisions within the corporations or organizations. I've always worked independently. I would design the strategy, implement it, and be accountable for it to myself. So in the process of working through these corporations, I've realized that I could take that skill set and open my own business consulting company. So that's what I did. And I assisted foreign companies on entering the US markets and helping American companies export their products overseas. But in the process of that work, I've realized that even though I would provide a business strategy to CEOs of these very multi-million-dollar companies, rarely they acted upon my advice. And that's because their mindset, how they were perceiving their company, their growth, their potential, would always pull them back. And it made me think that perhaps before we can take a step forward, we have to figure out why we're not taking that step and release those blocks. So that's how the triple quantum reset process was created. And that's the process through which I take my clients, in which we can identify first what's holding you back emotionally and mentally, release that on a very deep level down to your energetics of your body, then reprogram your subconscious mind with the positive way of viewing yourself. And in the last part of the triple quantum reset process, to help you modify your behavior. So now what you do and how you act supports your bigger vision. Okay, so I like to go in number 3, which is the numerology number of mastery. So today we're gonna take you out of this crisis also with 3 powerful, what I call capital letter R's. So what is the first R? The first R is reframe. And this is all about how you perceive the world. This current pandemic is not happening to you. You're not a victim of it. In fact, many years ago, I hosted a workshop called From Victim to Victor, because many times we unconsciously get dropped into this fear-based mentality that life is unsafe, that everything can be taken away from you at any moment. Disaster may strike in a second. And when that happens, we allow the fear to control how we show up in the world, both in our personal life, in our relationships, but also how you show up in your business. And the problem with that is that negative emotions like overwhelm, fear, anxiety, they activate the part of your brain called limbic system. And there is a little gland in it called amygdala that tends to hijack us when it perceives you to be in danger. So right now you're all healthy. You are sitting in your living room watching this program. So your life is, we can say, safe at this moment. And yet, if you watch the TV news excessively, you'll be programmed with the idea that this coronavirus equals mortality, death, a potentiality of ending your life, and a disaster. And when you allow that to be constantly programmed into your mind, then multiple things happen. Amygdala recognizes the danger as perceived in your external environment, and it has a disastrous effect on your body. Number one, it cuts off the prefrontal cortex of your brain, which is the executive center. It's the part of your brain that helps you find the solution in the crisis. And let's face it, many of you potentially are in some type of crisis. Perhaps you're losing clients. Maybe you're not able to get new clients because you have to stay at home and you don't know how to reach out to them. Perhaps you've lost a job, or your whole business plan is in shambles because you're a brick and mortar place and people cannot physically walk into your place to purchase your product. So the problem with the amygdala hijack, which I invite you all to research, is that it creates literally a tunnel vision. And the tunnel vision means that you are fixated on the object of your perceived fear, and any logical thinking is shut down at that point. Now, why is this relevant? Well, for multiple things. One, amygdala changes physiology of your body. It literally perceives external danger as real, the same way it would perceive it if there was a tiger running after you trying to eat you alive, which means from the standpoint of your body, the stress hormones are released and the blood is pulled out of internal organs, sent to your extremities so you can start running, and protect your life. The result of that is multifold because, one, your immune system gets compromised. So the very disease that you're afraid of, you're weakened to fight because your immune system doesn't get all that energy that it needs to internally fight that invader. But most importantly, as far as your financial safety, you're not able to think clearly. You're fixated on fear as opposed to having clarity and confidence to move forward. You're in so-called fight, freeze, or flight response mode. Now, we know, as Einstein said, that you cannot find solutions to the problems from the level of thinking that created those problems. So if you are in fear, that means that you cannot find the solution out of that fear when you're fixated on the potentiality of losing your business, not being able to pay bills, not being able to find clients. We have to get you out of that thinking. And when you look at what's happening in the world right now, the we literally have a fight of lack versus abundance attitude. Those of you who have unconsciously subscribed to the notion of struggle in life, that your well-being is unsafe, that you always have to fight to get clients, and I'm emphasizing the word fight, that you have to work hard for your money, that without hard effort, nothing comes to you, which means you're not open to receive, you're closed. You always feel that you have to work for things. Well, that kind of fear-based mentality and struggle-based mentality now is acutely enhanced because of the pandemic. The pandemic now has become an additional factor in your psyche that says life is unsafe. So the only way to get out of it is to pull you back and start managing those emotions instead of emotions controlling you. So how do we do that? I will walk you through a 3-part process. There comes that favorite number 3 again. And just as a side note, I was born on March 30th. So you've got 2 3s again. All right. Anyway, Dagmar, back to the topic. So by the way, if anyone else was born in March, say, I'm a March baby in chat, so I know I'm not here alone. But coming back, how do we manage those emotions? Well, first of all, we have to understand what emotion is. And emotion is an energy in motion. It is a communication tool. It is a FedEx guy that is coming over to drop a message for you. So if you're worried about how you're going to pay your bills, if you're anxious about your business and the future of it, and whether you will have to shut it down or can you continue to thrive in this environment, that emotion is communicating something to you. And because it's an energy in motion, just like the FedEx guy, he just wants to drop off the package. He's not there to stay. You're not inviting him for dinner. You're literally just picking the package and unwrapping what's in it. So the same way you have to manage your emotions. Try to understand, what is this emotion trying to tell me? Because it's a communication tool. So how do we manage that? Are you guys ready to learn how to manage your emotions and how to get that fear under your thumb and tell it what to do? If you are, then type yes in the chat. I'm not seeing any yeses, so I'm gonna, there it is, good, because I was going not to do it if you're not gonna say yes. I know we've got a pretty serious subject, but we can diffuse it with good humor and optimism, and that's what I am here to do. All right, so let's come back to that fear. How do we put some reins on that wild horse? Well, we manage emotions by first acknowledging and accepting the emotion. So what do I mean by that? A lot of times when people are angry, they're just running that emotion through their whole being. And they will tell you, I'm angry with you, right? Well, that's okay. Be angry, but add to that, and it is okay. Because whatever emotion that you have right now, if you are not accepting, just like when FedEx guy knocks on your door, you don't slam the door on him, right? You accept that somebody's at the door ringing the bell, and you probably should open that door to find out what this is about. So say to yourself, you know what? I am worried. I am frustrated with this pandemic. I'm afraid, and it is okay. And when you say it is okay, what you're communicating is that you are accepting that this emotion is trying to tell you something. And you also block a plethora of other emotions that you can compact if you don't try to accept it. So you can be now sad about the fact that you are angry. If you think that this is bad personality trait, you can feel guilty. You can be shameful. You can be pounding additional fear and anxiety on top of the fear that you have. So in other words, you will be making the emotion even stronger. So the first step is acknowledge, I am worried about this pandemic, and then accept, and it is okay. So that's step one. Number two, we have to detach from this emotion, because when you say I am angry, what you're really saying, I am anger. Because I am is about you, about who you are. So, and everything that comes after I am means that you embody what you are saying. And are you anger? No, you're not. The anger is passing through you. When you say, I am worried, I am concerned, you're not the concern, you're not the worry, you just have an emotion that is flowing through you. So how do we detach? We say, I perceive myself as being worried. Can you tell the difference between I am worried versus I perceive myself as worried? If you can tell the difference, please say yes in the chat, because it's very important. We become observers of our own emotion as opposed to the emotion controlling me. And then the last one is really the easiest, but it is the hardest to implement. We let it go. So you release. You give yourself permission to actually let go of that emotion. You accepted it. You were not fighting it. When people say, oh, I'm worried, I shouldn't be worried, that's a bad frequency, I don't want to be in bad frequency, law of attraction told me that if I'm saying I'm worried, I'll be worried more. Do you see what's happening? You're just pounding that emotion. You're making it stronger. So just take a deep breath, relax. Yes, you're worried. It's normal. Congratulations, you're human. Go ahead and type, I'm human, in the chat, because you deserve to be human. You deserve to have emotion. When you accept you, that means you're stepping into self-compassion, and that means that you can do something about this. So how do we release? I'm going to demonstrate this for you. Everyone, just take a nice, center yourself, sit down comfortably, and inhale through the nose and gently exhale through the mouth. As you inhale through the nose, you activate the parts of the brain so you can actually process emotionally and mentally the emotion that you're trying to release. And then a nice big exhale with your mouth. And as you do that again, inhale and exhale, say in your mind, I let it go now. What you just did is you unpacked that package that this very good looking FedEx guy dropped at your doorstep, but you looked at the package and you threw the packaging away. You're done. Okay, so releasing is very important. And now that we have you calm down, what you've done is you made that amygdala relax, and your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain, is working in its optimum again. And now we can find solutions to your problems. Okay, does this sound good? Is this something that you could do? Is this easy? Go ahead and type what you think, even if you think it's a BS. I'm telling you, it works. I've worked on it myself, and I love it, and it really will help you. Now that you're back, now that we took you out of that tunnel vision, this is where you refocus, okay? And that's when you can ask yourself, what can I do to feel peaceful, calm, and secure, okay? And there are two things that I want to show you here. The danger that you perceive is just perceived. The truth is that right this moment, you're all right. Your internet is working because you're logged into this session. You're healthy, and most likely your family is healthy. You've got food in the refrigerator. And beyond that, the sun continues to rise, and then it sets at night. So it's okay. And if you can step into the moment of now, instead of living in the potentiality of your future, which you think that the doomsday is coming, now we are optimizing our body to find the solutions, because trust me, you know exactly what needs to be done. And I will demonstrate that to you. You already know. You don't even need me. Okay? How that sounds. Good? If good, then we're going to go to the next one. And that is restructure. Okay? So this is your second R. And a restructure is about, first of all, embracing change. Most people live within the confines of their routine, which gives them the false perception of safety and security. So even if you are not getting the results that you want in business, many of my clients will continue to do the same thing over and over again, like a Groundhog Day or one of those hamsters on a wheel, and trying to figure out why they're not getting something different in their life. Well, right now, this pandemic is acutely making you aware that it's time to get off that wheel. And how do we do that? Well, we first of all have to get out of your comfort zone, because the comfort zone is where you are stagnated and you're stale and you're doing the same things. And when you give yourself permission to step out of who you are right now and create something brand new, trust me, it's gonna be wonderful. It's been for me every single time. And yes, it is a little bit scary, but guess what happens when you start feeling scared? We go back to the first 20 minutes of my conversation where I said we manage those emotions. So how do we manage? 1, acknowledge and accept. 2, detach. 3, release. Okay, so let's come back to restructure. What is this about? Ask yourself a question. What can you do differently moving forward? Because the old way, trust me, is not going to work. It's a done deal. Time out. It's gone. Bye-bye. We are changing as a society. This crisis will completely modify how we react and relate to each other and how we do the business. So I've got a few questions for you to ask yourself. Jot them down, or you can get this later in the recording. And I really want you to think about. And these are the questions. How can I leverage my existing skills and talents to move forward with the new way of conducting business? So I'm talking about you already have within you a set of skills and talents that made you the entrepreneur that you are today. They made you successful. So all we are asking is to realize what they are and bring them back. Do I have to learn or enhance something that I already know, but maybe not a lot of it? In other words, perhaps you need to learn digital marketing. Maybe you have to learn how to do funnels. Perhaps you were not using email marketing enough in the past, and you need to activate that on a more regular basis. Perhaps you need to leverage video blogs and use Facebook Lives or YouTube Lives, Instagram, you name it. Maybe it's time for you to start writing articles, okay? So the first question was, what existing skills can I use to create those new structures? Whereas the next one says, what new skills do I have to learn? Or which skills I don't know enough about that I need to enhance during this time? So go ahead and jot down a few. And the third question is, how can I serve my clients during this crisis? And the fourth one, how have my clients' needs changed during this lockdown? Because again, you have to realize that something is different now. And your clients' needs may have modified in response to this lockdown. So now that you know how those needs change, the next question is, how can I respond to those new needs? And next one, how can I restructure my business to address those new needs? Okay, so let's talk about it for a moment. Perhaps like if you were like me, I used to do a lot of public speaking in person. Well, now you can't do that. So you might need to do all your speaking online. Just create and start your own YouTube channel. If you were brick and mortar and your store is closed, perhaps now is the best time to launch the e-commerce. If you were relying on networking in person, start jumping on those Zoom virtual networking happy hours and meetups, which are all going online. So there are multiple ways in which you can restructure your business. But again, remember, you've got two things going on. You have to restructure your own business and how you run it. But you also have to, in your mind, modify what your clients want, because their life is being restructured as we go through this, reshaped, reformed based on what's happening. So your business is always in response to your client's needs. For example, I do a lot of one-on-one coaching with my clients because that is the fastest way to get them to where they want to be and scramble the existing way of acting, thinking, and behaving so they can create that new result. But also I realize that right now a lot of people are very concerned and they need a lot of emotional and mental support so that amygdala can come down and they can start utilizing the neocortex of their brain. In other words, the part of their brain that finds the solutions. So we're here today to help you get through that process. So again, what are the new needs of your clients? How can you meet them? And what will you do? What will you have to do in your business differently to address those new needs? Okay. So that's on part number 2, and that was restructure. Do we have any questions on that before we move forward? Let me just see if you are guys chatting anything on that. If you have questions, make sure you put in there. This is the exercise that I just gave you that I would invite you to block at least 30 minutes of your time tomorrow and really get through these answers, because you have within you what it takes to move you forward, okay? That you can trust me, and I'll explain that in point number 3. Are you guys ready for number 3? If you are, say ready. Okay, I'm gonna wait a moment and grab water, see if anyone wants to hear any more of me. Cool, Christy and Crystal already. Awesome, so the rest of you will have to suffer for this. So what's number 3? Number 3 is recalibrate, my favorite word. Because I am an energy healer, I probably forgot to mention that. I combine a lot of energy work and energetic release in my work, in my business consulting. So what is recalibration? First of all, if you think about the pure sense of that, that means reassess, right? It means to reset and readjust. So what are we readjusting here? When you started this year, 2020, you had set in vision of how your life will move forward, including how your business will unfold. You may have even done a business plan, and you set your goals. Some of you probably have done visualizations and meditation or visualizations board. That's all great, except we're different now. The whole dynamic, the whole world has changed. So what needs to be different now? You need to change and tune yourself into a brand new vision. This is the time for the 1.0 version of you to get upgraded to 2.0. Because as Darwin said, it's not the fittest, the strongest that survive, but the most adaptable to change. And I absolutely love it, because what makes you the most powerful is not the physicality, not the strength. It's the strength of your mind. And what makes it so strong and powerful is malleability, the ability to reshape and reform and recalibrate it based on the circumstances. So now is the invitation to you to embrace change, the new you, the 2.0 version. And if you keep getting stuck in, I wanted XYZ this year and I'm not getting it, and therefore I'm disillusioned, disappointed, and I'm just gonna sit here and wallow in that emotion, it's not gonna get you there. It's time to get a new piece of paper and write down new goals, because this still can be the best year of your life. And the reason it can be the best year is because it will make you better than you were before. Because the old version is the stale version, the version that you've been running on for so long. And I'll give you an example. When my clients come to Triple Your Money Mindset Workshop, where we work on releasing your money blocks, I always say, what worked for you to be successful, let's say 100,000 a year owner, is great, but it's not great if you want to be 300,000 or $500,000 owner, because what worked for those 6 figures, the 100,000, is not what's going to get you to 300,000. You will have to scramble that version and start almost from scratch. You may enhance certain behaviors that were positive, but trust me, what gets you on the road to Houston is not what gets you to Chicago, okay? So you have an opportunity to make what it's called a quantum leap. And in physics, quantum leap means that the electron that was running around the atom completely changed its orbit. It jumped to a completely new direction, okay? And that's what this pandemic is doing. It's turning this setback into an opportunity for you to create a more vibrant, more stable, more safe life. Because guess what? Today, it's pandemic. Tomorrow, it's a tornado. A month from now on, there could be an internet crash. There will always be a crisis that will come at you, but how you respond to it is what either will get you to be successful or not. And the truth is, you can count on you. You've been in this situation before. Maybe you have lost your first job. Maybe your first boyfriend or girlfriend broke up with you and you had a major heartbreak in your life. Maybe you got sick when you were a kid and your parents worried whether you're gonna make through it. Maybe when you opened your business, you had 2 or 3 months where there was no cash flow. The truth is, you've overcome these challenges before. You're here today because you're a victor of your life. You're not a victim. You are on this training because you're ready to do something new, and all you need is just some direction on how to do it. So trust me, you've got what it takes to move forward and to succeed and to thrive in this new time, new way of doing business. So here's another exercise, because I like to be a very on point, despite the fact that I talk forever. So the next exercise for you is tomorrow. Write down all the hardships that you've gone through in your life and give yourself a pat on the shoulder. Write down exactly how you have overcome those challenges. Because today it's very important that you remember that you've got a huge drawer in your chest, and that chest is full of accomplishments, of achievements, and of things that made you stronger and more powerful today. And this is the version of you that we need to tap into, okay? So if you are with me on that, type "I can count on me" in the chat. It's very important. I can count on me. I'm waiting. Excellent. And by the way, please visit my website, dagmarfleming.com. If you go to Success Tips, I write a lot of these articles and provide you with many free resources. So one of the latest articles is exactly how you can count on you. Okay, so now that I know that you can count on you, I've got one more exercise for you. So what I would like to do now is a special meditation for you where you will meet your new future self, the 2.0 version. Because as I mentioned at the beginning of talking about the recalibration, we need to tune you out of the old version, the one that you've been running on, and put you on a completely new frequency and tune you and calibrate you into this new operating system, which says I can count on me, I can conquer my fears, I can get through any challenge, and I can find solution to propel my business forward. So to do this meditation, I'm going to invite you to relax and close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath. Inhale through the nose, exhale with your mouth open, and just follow my voice. We're going to get started. So inhale through the nose, exhale any worry, anxiety out. And now imagine, what would it feel like if your business was thriving, no matter what happens in your environment? What would it feel like? What would it taste like? Who would you celebrate this success with? How would you celebrate it? Imagine that it is December 31st, so the end of this year, and you're looking back at 2020 and you realize that somehow, miraculously, this has been absolutely the best year of your life, both personally and professionally. Personally, you've been healthier than ever before. You became aware of how to keep your body healthy, how to put proper nutrition into your body, even how to use movement and exercise to instill some vigor and vitality into your body. Professionally, you've been thriving. You've had more clients than ever before, and they've been attracted to you. So they've been coming to you with ease and grace. Your business is growing. You've designed and implemented so many new strategies and tactics that you've never even thought about before. As you reflect back on that, on this whole year, you realize how easy it was for you. You actually enjoyed all those activities. New mentors came into your life. You felt closer to your family and friends than ever before. And as you look back on 2020, you realize that you wouldn't take anything back because you appreciate who you have become in the process. You are proud of what you have accomplished. And as you look into 2021, there is so much more that you want to achieve. You're so excited about it and so thrilled. You can see all these positive big changes in your life and you simply can't wait to get started. There's so much more for you to do. So as you reflect back on this year and all that you've gone through and everything that you have done, take a moment and note, what did you do differently? How did you respond to this crisis? What process did you design and implement? What new fresh ideas did you have for your business that you've never thought of before? Take a mental note of that. And now bring awareness back into your body. Maybe move your shoulders a little bit. Wiggle your toes, move your fingers, open your eyes, and go ahead and write down whatever came to your mind. What were these new tactics and strategies that you implemented for your business? So go ahead and take 2 minutes to write it down. All right, so now I invite you to continue those exercises at home. Does anyone want to share something that came up during this visualization that they were thinking that might help them moving forward? You can either type in the group chat or go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hey, Dagmar.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, one thing that I had been not implementing or resisting is this whole idea of doing appointments virtually and inviting them to people. Inviting them to invite their friends that don't live local, and not reaching out to people who are not in my geographic area. So I am now seeing the enormous potential of reaching all the people who are not local to me, and also showcasing it as a new way of doing business. So people who were hesitant in the past because they saw that as a limitation now can see the possibility of not only finding clients all over the country, but also expanding their businesses all over the country as well.
And thank you for that comment. By the way, something interesting is happening in, among other things, in what you said. Have you noticed how this pandemic is making us think bigger?
Yes.
Because we're so used to, like I myself, I've been primarily promoting it on in Facebook groups that I personally visited, attended. These are networking groups that I know from being in person, right, and meeting those people. And as this crisis has started, I thought there are thousands of Facebook groups. We're not limited by our locality. Just because you haven't met them physically doesn't mean that you cannot tap into that, right? So, but the bigger picture, and thank you, Homa, for sharing that, is that we are suddenly thinking so much beyond what we comfortably set into. It's not that the possibility didn't exist before, but just like I said, we run the same hamster wheel. We're in a routine. And sometimes it takes something to shake us off that routine to say, hey, just because it's easy, just because it's comfortable, it doesn't mean that you cannot join the groups in LA, Chicago, Atlanta, and New York. There are people everywhere. So yes, so thank you for sharing that. Does anyone else want to contribute? We've got a lot of silent folks. You don't want me to talk all the time, do you?
Okay. Hi, right. Dagmar.
Go ahead.
I really feel like the last 4 or 5 years, my business has been preparing for this pandemic, if that's possible, because I did go online with my business about 3 years ago so that I can have a more global clientele. One of the challenges I had was learning how to help people if they weren't in my person. You know, I wasn't able to physically put my hands on them. And that came into fruition, and I was able to get the training for that. But there is one area when I was doing that meditation that I have been holding back on, and I really don't know why. So I'm sure that I need to kind of look at that. And that is having like a YouTube channel where I interview people that are in the holistic field, so that those that are wanting to go more holistically can begin to explore their options. And I don't know why I haven't done it. It stays in my space, but it's particularly been there since this quarantine or this stay in your home type of thing. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to, looking at some of the other things you've done here or asked.
Wonderful. And the truth is, why. So what's the first answer? Why haven't you done this?
I think that when you do something like that, you need to be committed to consistency. And my practice is pretty big, and so I'm concerned about consistency. Getting the planning done, making sure the range is. I have the technical skill to do it. I have the organizational skill. I just don't step out and do it, Dagmar.
Mm-hmm. So that is the politically correct answer, Kathy. So congratulations. That is not the reason why you're not doing it, right? So so what I mean by that, just to explain to the rest of you, I just intuitively tapped into what Kathy was saying and read energetically her response. So there is a deeper block here that is more towards putting yourself out there. And I'm going to dance around the subject because I'm going to preserve.
Do that, Dagmar. You always do that.
Well, what do I always do, Kathy?
Well, you always target, because I knew that. That came up in that little meditation, but I wasn't going to say that because I thought, how do you deal with that? It seems like I never can seem to get on top of that. I've done all this belief work around it. I still can't seem to get on top of it because what I do is unusual.
Well, so let's explain to others what we do right now. So this is a session that I would normally run in Activate Your Success program, and I'll tell you a little bit about it in a second. And when the person is blocked, then the block is expressed in the words that they use to describe why they're not doing something. It's almost like that the reason why you're not moving forward is energetically encoded in those words. And I have the ability to intuitively tap into that and decode it. So today perhaps is not the place to discuss personal reason why Kathy's not going into the YouTube channel, but there is a deeper emotional reason that goes back usually to childhood that unconsciously is sabotaging our ability to move forward. And if I can tap into that and let her know what was the initial experience in her childhood that caused her to pull back and doubt. For you, Kathy, the primary vibration is doubt. Then we can release that and help her show up fully into whatever she wants to accomplish in her life. So in a typical Activate Your Success session, we would have a certain portion delivered of the actual business knowledge. So that's just how I've been running through today. I was trying to show you how you can work with your business and give you some tangible exercises that you can do to strategize. Then we would do a visualization or meditation, just like we did a sample today, except it would be more expanded. And usually each visualization is designed to take you out of where you are right now and transition you into where you want to be. So we would, focus either on transmuting your poverty mindset, maybe activating the awareness of the skills and talents that are within you. We could potentially help you think bigger, so expanding how you perceive yourself and what you're capable of. We can even in meditations look at different outcomes that you are thinking about implementing in your business and figuring out which one resonates better and has the highest potential to be fulfilled. And then if time allows, we can go one by one and I can tap into each one of you and help you shift out of a block that's holding you back. So this is the Activate Your Success program. And lucky for you, it's about to launch on the first Monday of May. So that's May 4th. So I would love to share some information with you, how you can continue this work to get through this crisis, but most importantly, how you can continue to build the business that you love, impact the people that you want to positively influence, and feel better than ever before. So the objective of that Activate Your Success program is primarily to put you in a driver's seat of your life. Because when we feel as victims to what's happening externally, we cannot create the solutions that we need to actually create the life of our dreams. So we first focus on creating a success mindset. And that means that a lot of your limiting beliefs have to be scrambled. And we have to take your inner critic and make it into the inner champion. So that instead of I can't, you are going to flow into I can, and if I don't know how right now, I know how to figure this out, okay? Then the most important aspect of you creating the results in your business that are beyond where you are right now is to think and act bigger. And most people think they understand what that means. Trust me, we are so focused on where we are today that we really can see where we want to be. And we don't create from where we are today. We create from the vision. So constantly stretching you, what you're comfortable with, what you're willing to do is the second part of that program. Then managing your emotions. When you look at people who are multi-million-dollar entrepreneurs, one thing that they have in common is that they are the masters of the emotion, because you will always have emotions. Every time you do something new, the fear will show up, the overwhelm, the anxiety, insecurity. You will be uncertain. So to think that those multimillionaires are so special that they're made out of steel, no, they're not. They have nerves of steel. And what that means is that when they see fear, the way I say it, I lean into it. In other words, I'm scared and I'm doing it anyway. Okay? And that's where we want to take you, to the point where fear becomes new normal. Because as an entrepreneur, you will continue to grow your entire life. And when you have fear and you know how to use it to your advantage, it becomes a positive emotion. It tells you that you're growing, that you're becoming bigger, and that you're doing something new. Okay? So we are turning your fear into your best friend. And then upgrading your wealth consciousness. Many people don't realize that they have hidden money blocks that started all the way back in their childhood before they were even the age of 7. And we all have the unconscious money ceiling. It's a point in your brain that says, you shall not cross. And you might not know that it's there, because if you are, let's say, if you wonder where your money ceiling is right now, if you look at your checking account, that is the ceiling that you are under. But because you're so used to making that kind of money, you just got used to it. And you think that, oh, that's just how it is. No, it's the artificial ceiling that now is actually keeping you prison. So we need to break through that so you can actually double or triple your money, not feel guilty about it, and not sabotage it. So let me ask you, are there any questions about anything that we covered today, or if you have any major aha moment that you had today? What is it, number one, that you learned? I hope you learned something, because you've been listening to me for over an hour.
I liked your reminder that emotions are just information, and that we should just take it as the FedEx delivery guy and not like let him live with us. Just take the information and move on.
Thank you. No matter how cute the FedEx guy is, let him go. What else have you guys learned? Noelle says, I am a victor. I love it. Thank you for that.
The one thing that have learned is through this whole process, as well as what you just said, was I've been keeping emotion out of it and just trying to be as logical about things as possible, trying to see what people really need and how is their emotions driving things. And I'm talking about, you sort of strengthened what I was saying, or what I've been saying to myself, or what I've been saying to my wife. So I guess I don't know if that adds anything to it. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, the truth is we create and manifest with emotions. We conceptualize using our thought processes, our mental body, so to speak. But what gives the juice, that energetic ability to manifest from a concept into physical reality, is the emotion. That's why they say if you love your business and if you follow your passion, then the money will follow, because it's the emotion that actually pulls the concept into the physical reality. So when you learn how to leverage your emotions to support what you want to do, now you become a powerful manifestor. This is why meditation and visualization is so important. It actually locks the emotion with the thought process. And now that they are married, so to speak, now they can show up in your physical reality. So we are emotional beings, and thank goodness for that, or nothing would happen in our reality. Imagine loving somebody like your wife with your brain instead of your heart. You cannot be in a relationship with somebody because you conceptualize love. You have to feel it in your heart. So that's really how we operate in everything we do. If you pick up the phone to call your prospects and you are in the emotion of disillusionment, dissatisfaction, disappointment, despair, guess what you're going to get? Absolutely nothing. Because your emotion is they won't pick up, and if they pick up, I don't want to talk to them. Maybe they won't pick up, so I'll leave a message, so that's better. But if I leave a message, they won't listen to that, right? You cannot create a client out of that. But if you're excited and you're like, I know they're going to pick it up. They have to pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, because I am just can't wait to talk to you. Most likely the client will respond, is because energetically you're in a flow and you're so excited about what you're manifesting in your life that emotion is the fuel in the engine of your manifestation car. So thanks for sharing that, Aaron. Anything else? Who else would like to say something or ask any questions? But for today, thank you so much for logging in. And if you have any other questions, please reach out to me directly. Again, the website to get more information is dagmarfleming.com. Very simple, just my name, or send me an email. So I look forward to our next session. Stay tuned. And I hope that you will continue to thrive and use the 3 R's to move you forward. All right, thanks so much. Till we speak again.